James Gleick, the author of The Information. James, people are going to be watching this show on the internet. As a theorist of information, with your erudite scientific background, what is the role of the internet in the history of information?
I don't have an erudite scientific background.
Well, you see, more than me, anyway.
Well, I want to be clear.
You've written books on a number of scientific thinkers.
You're very kind, and I still think of myself largely as a journalist who likes to pay attention to these things.
Okay, well, a scientific journalist.
Okay.
You know more about it certainly than me and most of our audience.
All right. I'm not sure about that, and the question is?
The question is, what is the role of the internet in the history of information, when the full history of information gets written, many centuries or eons ahead of us? Where will the internet show up? Will it be a footnote? Will it have its own chapter? Will it be the beginning? Will it be the end?
The internet will be the internet, speaking of it in its broadest sense, talking about cyberspace generally, talking about the connectedness of all of our electronic information devices, and therefore our connectedness to one another by means of electronic digital communication. In that sense, the internet is going to be as transformative, I'm confident in saying, as the printing press before it, as the invention of writing before that. It is, even though we're in baby days for cyberspace, we're deep enough into it now to see how radically it's changing everything we do. Some aspects of the internet, such as Google, important though it is, Facebook, Twitter, any particular brand you can name, may or may not be a passing thing. The particular hardware of the internet, the telephone wires that first formed its physical foundation, may vanish, may become unnecessary. But cyberspace, as a mode of being for human beings, I can't see that ever going away until the end of the world or something like it.
Is this the place in the 21st century where we're living?
Yes,
as collective, we can take responsibility for all human beings.
People sometimes complain when I say we, because I do that too much, because we're all different. But yes, more and more we live in cyberspace. We do our financial transactions there, our shopping, our pizza ordering, almost our cooking, not quite. We talk to one another there. That doesn't mean that we can't meet face-to-face. You and I are face-to-face right now, and even if we turned the cameras off, we would be. I don't mean to suggest in some sort of utopian fantasy that the internet is going to be a replacement for our ordinary physical lives. It's a new channel, and it's a very large and capacious channel. It's not a channel like the telegraph or the telephone. It's as big and it seems as fast as we want to make it.
Why, though, will it change our identities?
I'm not saying it will change our identities. It changes the way we think about things, the way we do a lot of different things. We are still who we are, whatever that is. The invention of writing changed human beings in fundamental ways, and this is an early chapter in my book. The invention of writing enabled modes of thought that include logic. It enabled a sense of history. It enabled all of science. We couldn't have what we think of as modern science without the written word. The internet is a new kind of change. I don't know whether it's going to enable new modes of thought as grand as those. It's way too soon to be able to make predictions like that. And for that matter, it seems already to be changing the relations among the older modes of thought. We can see how it's changing journalism. Daily newspapers, great, venerable empires of information on which society depended, are really being shaken now to their foundations. And I'm personally praying that the great ones are going to survive and transform themselves into something even more valuable in the internet era. But it's far from clear what's going to happen. Broadcast television, telephony, all of these channels are changing irremediably. The role of the written word itself is different in all of our lives. How different varies from person to person, and where it's going to go, no one really knows. I'm still a great lover of printed books. I also read some books online. I don't want to imagine a world in which books are not fundamentally important, but I have to admit that that world may be coming.